glad you did.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by your First Coast Honda dealers. 5-time Pro Bowl wide receiver Jarvis Landry is trying out for the Jaguars today and tomorrow at Rookie Minicamp. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson was asked this morning about the tryout for Jarvis Landry.
You know, he's obviously played, several years in this league and, been talented guy and just see where he's at. He was out of ball, I believe, in 23 and 22 was kind of his last time. He's been hurt a little bit, so just kind of seeing where he is health-wise and just see where he's at. Nothing more than just coming in and, a tryout type basis.
It's 79 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
That's the name.
Prime time.
What time is it? Showtime, prime time.
It's XL Prime Time, featuring Joe C.
And then he couldn't fire his glutes later.
Matt Hayes.
I'm not running over the Barnett Tower and heaving myself off it.
And Leon Searcy.
Now, you come across that middle, you have some meat on your bone.
How you like me now? How you like me
2 o'clock hour is here. Welcome in XL Prime Time, ready to patrol and control the airwaves. We'd love for you to hang out with us. You can find us a number of different ways. If you are where you could just log on to YouTube and punch in 1010XL, you can join us in the MyBookie Digital Studios as we are streaming live. Of course, you can find us on the apps, over the air, wherever you want to hang out with us. Definitely appreciate it. You can stream us in the office. Just go to 1010XL.com. We are without Big Searcy today. Leon's got the day off today. We will have him back on Monday as we head up to the ACC spring meetings. But fresh off of the grass is our head coach, Dave Campo, as he joins Maddie and me, ready to rock and roll. Coach, you're fired up. I mean, was he drawing on the napkins, the alignments, Maddie, as he came walking in here?
No, he walked through the door and he said, "I gotta say something." That's the first words out of his mouth, and I knew we were getting ready to get lit up, all of us.
But more than anything else, it's the enthusiasm of something new, right?
Well, let me tell you something. It was nothing on the field today but drills, so I don't have any alignments for you on the napkin yet. But I will be willing to bet with this group that they will be able to play a bunch route. And I'm confident in that, which has not been done for the 3 years that I've been back
so
here.
hang on. Now we are at May 10th, right?
Exactly.
So we are probably what, Joe? 4 months from first preseason game, right?
Yeah, right around there.
Right?
Yeah,
somewhere around there, right?
Yeah.
And you're guaranteeing right now they'll be able to play a bunch route.
Wait a minute. You're taking words out of my mouth.
Yeah,
I
don't
said
guarantee
confident.
anything.
I'm confident. I'm not guaranteed of anything. But
All right,
I am
on a scale
confident.
of 1 to 10, where's that confidence?
I feel good about it. I think
about a
this
7,
guy.
8?
Well, Chris Richard, the secondary coach,
Right.
was with the Cowboys, and I know Chris pretty darn well, and I know how they know how to play a bunch route. So I'm confident that it's going to happen.
So we joke, but you believe completely now that the defensive coaches are a significant upgrade from last year's defensive coach.
Well, I hate to ding coaches.
Right.
I just feel like this is first of all, these are the people these guys were available, and they weren't available last year.
Right.
He was able to get the guys he wanted. I don't think he was able to do that 2 years ago, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
And so I feel confident that this is a good group. And we'll see. I thought the best coach on the whole staff last year is the one they kept, Bill Shuey, who coached the outside guys. So
did a
to
great
me,
job.
I think that it's an upgrade, but we have to see. I believe Ryan Nielsen is what they need. You've heard me say this before, that I felt that there has to be some type of it can't be all the same guys. Mm-hmm. The head coach is Doug Peterson's kind of a player's coach, unflappable kind of a guy. Nielsen's more of a let's get after it type of a guy. Yeah. And I think that Caldwell, that was here last year, was a little bit like Doug.
Right.
So I think that's an.
You need a little yin and yang, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think so as a staff.
And the other thing, I think maybe when it's all said and done, and you can classify this any way you want, the best draft choice or the best free agent signing could be Ryan Nielsen. Because, and I'm not going to say Doug's job is on the line, but Doug needed to do something differently, particularly on the side of the ball that he's not like overseeing every single thing on. He needed to do something to make sure that he has this job next year.
Absolutely.
Let's honestly, let's be real. And I've got some numbers as far as where the defense is at, where maybe the most worry should still be. Is it the secondary? Is it the pass rush on that side of the ball? Is your overall biggest worry still the offensive line? We'll throw some numbers at you coming up here in just a little bit. But Doug needed to make a change. He did make a change. And the thing I think that excites you, Coach Campo, is I feel like the potential is there to get an attacking defense that's not going to just kind of keep everything in front of them as I get further and further away from the microphone. That's the umbrella, bend but don't break type of philosophy. They need to figure out how to get guys in position to attack.
Yeah, and he was able to do that in Atlanta with, I believe, less talent than we have here right now. Mm-hmm. And so, that's the confident part. I think we're going to be able to rush the passer. I think we're, in a position where we've got a little bit more depth in the defensive line. Here's what Doug said today in the press conference, okay? Someone asked him, one of the media guys asked him, so is one of the things that you guys really went after was being more physical? And he kind of chuckled because I'm sure he's been hearing it from all of us and everybody and not just all of us.
Well, his own GM said it.
He said it, and the GM said it, right? His answer to that was, we're playing football, so we have to be physical. He said, but we're bigger and we're faster. So to me,
I hope so.
That's what they've done. They're bigger and faster as a football team.
On defense, you mean?
Yeah, on defense.
Right. And you know what else they did?
Yes.
They got bigger and faster, and they got experience.
Exactly. And
Okay?
some guys with
Experience
some skins on the wall.
All right, so I want to kind of delve into this because we hear this every time somebody hires a new defensive coordinator. We're going to be more aggressive. It's the first line out of their mouth at the press conference, or one of the first few lines out of the mouth. We're going to be more aggressive than we were. So in the NFL, everybody's aggressive, number one. Number two, I just want guys that can cover people. I want guys that are in the right spot, that are aligned correctly, that can tackle after the catch, right?
Yes.
That's been the problem with this defense, has it not?
Yes. And I think that's something that I think this is going to be more coordinated. I think if you watch Atlanta's defense, they fly around. When you say aggressive, they're going to be aggressive. All they worked on today with those young guys was press coverage. Mm-hmm. That's all they worked on with the DBs.
Even though they're not going to be a press team.
Yeah,
right?
Honestly, I don't know if I can go through another season of seeing guys 3 yards away from the corners, receivers 3 yards away from corners.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just ridiculous how open.
No, 3 yards ain't bad. It's the 10, 12 yards.
It's like honestly, we see this all the time, and it's very easy to see. Like, the separation teams got on the secondary in the last 3-4 years here is just ridiculous.
Well,
they don't cover well.
It's funny how we sit here.
Every one of the corners they have right now are fast. Every one of them. And they're long. Mm-hmm. So, to me, they can be a press team, and that doesn't mean they're going to be playing man all the time. They can press with a shell.
Right. Shell,
they're going to be more aggressive.
And that's another thing, too, is it's not like Tyson Campbell forgot how to cover.
Right.
He's being told to do something else.
Absolutely.
He is a man-cover guy.
They were off most of the time. And I think this, when I say aggressive, I'm not just talking about bringing 6, 7, 8
Right, I think that's what everybody thinks, right?
Yeah,
it's about
I'm
coverage.
talking about that they're going to be aggressive from the standpoint that they're not going to allow receivers to just run all over the place.
Right, 100%.
They're going to be closer to receivers, I believe, watching those two young corners that they just signed. I mean, both of them can run. They're both in the 4.3s. They're long, both of them. Yeah. I think it's going to be interesting.
You are literally talking dirty to him right now.
I am fired up for the Prince of Oxford, the Prince of Hotty Toddy. I really am, because I want to see what this cat can do. I do believe he's long, he's fast, he's instinctive, he's got a little mean in him, which I think you have to have. Jarian Jones, when I did see him make plays on the ball, I liked it. So we are talking about a mid-rounder, a later rounder that are going to have to step in and make plays. And that's more than an undrafted Trey Herndon, more than a late-drafted Buster Brown. We're going to find out.
I will say, and again, we've had some issue about them making decisions on whether or not they didn't bring in a pass rusher last year. They kind of stood pat here or there.
Yeah.
But listening to the coaches talk over there, I do believe that they think that the guys that they brought in, I'm talking about Savage and I'm talking about Darby, that they are NFL defenses, players that can play this scheme.
They're smart.
That's without the draft picks. Yeah. That's what the guys that they brought in, they think they have enough in the secondary that they can cover people, especially if they can get a little bit more in the pass rush.
So, Coach, how do you survive in the league? I think you got to be smart, you got to stay healthy,
right,
and you obviously got to play the game well. But being smart counts.
Absolutely.
And Darby and Savage have made a good living in this league by knowing their position, knowing their playbook.
Being smart is way up there, man. Yeah. Yes. Way up there.
All right, so here's a number. Let's do a 10-10 take here, RJ. By the way, RJ, you got a young lad in there. What are we training this youngster?
We are training this young man. He goes by the name of Travis. He is the newest intern for the summer at 1010XL, and just trying to teach the young Ward a little bit here and there as he becomes probably one of the next heroes of 1010.
All right, listen, drop some RJ intel on him, okay? Learn from the man right there. All right, Travis, welcome in. All right, so give me the 10-10 take, and let's just at least kind of go off of this right now.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since '68.
Something I know about Sonny's is that they don't necessarily pay attention to the metrics the way you may think. But analytics is everything. Analytics is everything. And if they don't get the right blend of spices, the right smoke, the right meat, they're not going to be able to serve a good meal. So they've got the analytics down. Make sure you check out any of their great chicken, pork, rib recipes, turkey, brisket, you name it, with all those tremendous sides. They definitely got it going on. Sonny's all over the First Coast. Go in and enjoy some Q. Now, these are metrics and analytics, and this is basically trying to figure out whether there's enough pass pressure to help a defensive back, or the defensive back, is he doing good enough to help the pass pressure? According to the 33rd team with their metrics, all right, the Jaguars ranked 11th in EPA per play and success rate. Surprisingly, Jacksonville was 7th in EPA per drop back, but the team ranked 29th in success rate against the pass. So my question with the 10-10 take is that screams back-end problems to me. That screams that there weren't guys doing either not in position, playing soft, and then as many times as either Trayvon or Josh was able to get to the quarterback, they didn't impact him enough because guys were open. That's the 10-10 take. That's got to change.
Yeah,
I don't know about all that mumbo-jumbo. I just know on 3rd and 7, they couldn't get off the field, okay?
Yeah.
And more times than not,
good I like those
more times than not, it's because they couldn't cover.
Are you going to make fun of my mumbo jumbo? I mean,
I think we get so wrapped in not you, as a society, get so wrapped into this.
No, I think
all
everybody
these numbers and all this stuff that doesn't mean anything. They couldn't get off the field because they can't cover.
Oh my gosh, yes it does. Both of them matter. Okay, what I am trying to identify is, was it the guys not getting to the quarterback and knocking him down, or was it the guys in the back not covering properly?
Both.
Look, the quarterback did not get knocked down enough.
No.
Okay, Jake Browning threw for 300 and some yards against this defense, not just the secondary, this defense. Do not forget that. After the first 27 sacks went on the board for Allen and Trayvon, there were a dozen more, and that was it.
I don't want to hear about coefficients and all that.
There's a lot of reasons.
A dozen from the rest of this football team.
There's a lot of reasons why that's interesting, because for 2 years in a row now, pressures on the quarterback have been all right with the Jags.
Yeah.
You just said it, 7th and whatever.
Yeah, but that's such a misleading stat.
That's not sacks. That's not sacks. That's pressure, which means that the secondary is not doing their job. In other words,
that's what I'm reading.
To be honest with you, it comes down to we were a soft football team on the back end. and the separation was all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the corners, one of the corners was hurt half the year.
Mm-hmm.
The other corner was not a get-in-your-face DB. He
Right,
was,
Darius,
he was
right?
a
True.
zone DB. So they were off, and we just didn't do a good job. You've heard us say that there were some alignment problems.
Mm-hmm.
There were this and that. If they could cover a bunch,
They got a chance.
they're going to be a lot higher.
Yeah, they got a chance.
In that,
Think about what you're saying. You're talking
because-
about NFL players, and you're saying if they can cover a
But
bunch,
that's scheme. That's teaching. That's instruct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's all of that. By the way, I think most of them are going to, if they have the NFL body type and skill set, they are going to do what they're coached to do. And
Yeah.
if they're not coached to
Here's
do that,
the other thing, guys, in my mind, and this is just me now because I don't know exactly what they're going to do.
Mhm.
But watching Atlanta, they're a quarters team,
Mhm.
okay, meaning that they're not going to get beat down the seams very often, which the big plays happen. That's number one. But number two, we were a spot drop team here the last two years. Spot drop team, meaning that the linebackers drop, and then they try to read the quarterback and go make some plays, right?
Mm-hmm.
They are going to be a match team, meaning that even the linebackers are going to be closer to receivers
okay.
than spot dropping. So to me, that in itself is more aggressive.
It's aggressive.
Because you're closer to where the ball's going to go. Now, there's one problem with that. The problem is that when you're doing that, your eyes a lot of times are not necessarily on the quarterback as much.
Right.
It's a combination. You're kind of reading routes and you're seeing the quarterback at the same time. So how quickly they adjust to that. But I guarantee you there won't be guys running around like there have been in the last couple of years.
But that's also when you see quarterbacks take off and get plus yards if you're not careful. But the other thing I was worried about is if you're aggressive, then you got to worry about someone beating you over the top.
When I say aggressive, those guys, the corners are not going to get beat deep.
Yeah.
They
Right,
run
you're
too
playing
fast.
bump and shell. It's not.
Yeah.
You got to.
I think we're okay there.
Yeah, you hope. Yeah, you hope.
We're
All
going
right.
to see.
Yeah. All right, so let's get into it because as far as where the weak flesh points of this football team are in the idea of coming in here with a new coordinator, with a lot of new talent on that side of the ball, can they fix it? Just a couple of more from the 33rd team. The Jaguars were 6th in EPA per play and 4th in success rate on plays without pressure, meaning they did not get home. They were 17th in EPA, which means that made it even more difficult for the secondary to do their job. They were 28th in success rate when they didn't get pressure. And so even though Trayvon and Josh added up to combined most pressures, this football team didn't add up to the most pressures.
Correct.
That is a big deal. So now let me get to Tyson Campbell. Campbell, as you said, Coach, and we've talked about it. Matt, Leon, and I, we've all talked about it. You know, him being hurt. This is a contract year for him. It's a really important year. When he's at full, he's pretty damn good.
Absolutely.
All right, so this is just the 33rd team's analysis. Tyson Campbell played at Pro Bowl and borderline all-pro level in 2022. A couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
Up and down in 11 games last season when he ranked, and this shocked me when I saw it, he ranked 131st among cornerbacks in adjusted yards allowed per snap. That's troubling, okay? That's troubling. And I didn't realize there were that many cornerbacks in the National Football League to be ranked that low.
Wow. I think the hamstring injury was much more severe than that.
Definitely.
And I also think he played with it hurt a lot too.
Yeah, it was
I agree
definitely
with that.
significant. So if Tyson can come
You
back,
don't fall that far. You don't fall from all-pro level to
no.
131st among corners. No way.
It's just a hell of a thing.
Yes.
It really is. And you're talking about you're in nickel coverage a lot, so you're seeing a lot of different guys that are out there. You can go 30 teams times 3, and you're already 32 teams times 3, and you're already around 100. So you had some other guys that moved in there,
Right.
but to be that far down, that was concerning.
Yep. There's no question. And to me, I believe that it's a lot tougher to play corner when you're off than it is when you're pressed. Because when you're pressed, you're telling the receiver, this is what you're going to do.
Right.
When you're off, he's telling you what he's going to do.
Right.
There's two different ways of approaching the game. When we started out back in the day with the Cowboys, we brought quarter coverage into the league. We had soft corners because we didn't have guys that could run. And against really good teams, we got worked over. We eliminated the seam routes, but outside we were just like we were last year with our corners, in my opinion. When we started pressing the corners, it's a whole different game. We started pressing the quarters. It's still, you got to make sure you don't get beat deep over the top. So it's soft press. It's not jamming guys up all the time. But when you put the combination of soft press and cover two, where you're rerouting receivers now, that puts a big problem on the offense, and it gives the front a chance to get home. That's, to me, is the difference is going to be between these two.
So real quick, explain schemes. Soft press to everyone, okay?
Soft press for us was we're going to get up there, and if you want to just run off the ball, we're going to be what we call high for 5 yards. In other words, we're going to get ourselves moving. We're going to be over the top of the receiver when he gets to 5 yards. Now that means you're under control as he's running up the field now.
You can even dictate where he's going, right, yeah.
Because now if you're in control, even the short routes, it's going to make it difficult for him to run a route because you're going to be under control at the point of the break at 12 yards, 14 yards, whatever it is. And if he goes vertical, you're going to be in good football position because you can run, you're right with him. If you get behind, that means if he does go vertical, you're running so hard that if he runs a comeback or a dig route or whatever, you're going to run right by it. He's going to catch the football.
Right.
So it's what we call a soft press. It's not, and if you're hard pressing and you miss him, now you got the problem of what Joe said. You got a chance for the guy to run over the top of you.
Right.
So it's really based on being a soft press football team. We told our corners, look, we're pressing to make it more difficult for a receiver. But the worst thing that can happen in a zone defense, we don't have a center fielder. Don't get beat over the top.
Yeah, which
that's it. Yeah. Take care of that. That's it. Okay? So, to me, that's the way they're going to play. And watching them today, that's exactly what they're doing.
All right, we've got all of that to get into because we're only seeing rookies in this rookie minicamp. Then you got OTAs, not this coming week, but the following week, and you'll start to see this team come together. But Doug had some things to say, including that physicality. Coach, you were there, and I want to get into this a little bit because it might be – that is a big sticking point, I think, for I'm going to say all of Duval. So we'll get into that coming up. It's XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Coach Campo hanging out with us. Big Searcy has the day off. RJ running it.
XL Primetime's Coach Dave Campo is brought to you by Bold City Heating and Air. Online at boldcityac.com. Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
I'm Paul Pozlesny, and you're listening to the best Jaguars coverage in Jacksonville on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
Imagine the perfect outdoor living space. A beautiful stone kitchen, waterfall, fire pit, pergola, stone walkway. Now there's one place to bring all of your design ideas to life. The Art of Natural Stone on Beach Boulevard and also by Bartram Springs.
After consulting with several orthopedic specialists about my constant knee pain, I chose Southeast Orthopedic Specialist and Dr. Chris Swanson to handle my surgery. Their professionalism let me know this team was the one for me. The surgery was very successful, and if I ever have a future need, I'll continue to trust Southeast Orthopedic Specialists to take care of me.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Are you feeling the heat? It's time to cool things down with Duck Duck Air Conditioning. Contact us today at 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com. Duck Duck Air Conditioning to keep you cool and comfortable all year round.
If you're heading to the Og or you're already part of the nation's oldest, don't forget to drop into Sunset Grill. For over 30 years, serving up great chowder, seafood, wings, and cold beer. Sunset Grill, somewhere on A1A, St. Augustine Beach.
We'll never know how much our moms did for us when we were young.
I have cooked, cleaned, scrubbed.
1010XL helps you say thanks with gift ideas from
Beaches Dermatology, Sawgrass Marriott Spa, and Kuhn Flowers.
at 1010XL.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TRUNK for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TRUNK for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TRUNK.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping first-time homebuyers with their mortgage financing all over Florida for 34 years. First-time homebuyers can get no or low down payments, anywhere from 0 to 3.5% down. As a first-time homebuyer with Trustline Mortgage, you get added benefits for doing your loan with us, like lower rates on your mortgage insurance and lower closing costs. Oh, and did I forget to mention that Trustline gives first-time homebuyers better mortgage interest rates? Here's the bottom line. Trustline Mortgage wants to help first-time homebuyers accomplish your goal of home ownership. That's why Trustline Mortgage is offering the best first-time homebuyer benefits around, period. Trustline Mortgage delivers with no and low down payments, lower closing costs, and better interest rates. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. That's 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you buy your dream home. Or visit our website at trustlinemortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing opportunity. MLS number 331480.
If you are having problems related to selling your home, here's your solution. You just have not discovered ChadandSandy.com. That's ChadandSandy.com. Listen, maybe the problem is you need more space for your office or growing family, or perhaps you're worried about settling for less money with a lowball instant offer. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. It's as simple as that. So you need to call 904-414-6200 or go to ChadandSandy.com like Jonathan in Mount Pleasant did. The only thing standing between me and my dream of traveling in my RV was the sale of my Mount Pleasant home. I heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. Crazy results. In just 3 days, I received multiple offers for full asking price. So you don't have the problems you think you do. You have solutions and promises with Chad and Sandy. Go to ChadandSandy.com or call 904-414-6200 at ChadandSandy.com.
I'm Clayton Bromberg, the president of Underwoods. Since 1928, people have admired diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs that we've hand-selected and put together because of the way they sparkle on a lady's neck or ear. And now, through May 31st, Underwoods is putting all of our diamond solitaire necklaces and ear studs on sale at 15% below our everyday price. We also take trade-ins on these pieces of jewelry, so if you're thinking about growing a diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond studs up to a larger size, it's an ideal time to come see us. To give an example, we normally sell our 1-carat total weight diamond stud earrings for $3,150, but right now they're on sale for $2,677.50. Our diamond solitaire necklaces are priced the same way, with sizes from 1/5 carat total weight up to 7 carats total weight. So if you need a gift that says forever, make it an Underwood diamond solitaire necklace or a pair of diamond stud earrings at Underwoods in San Marco, Avondale, and the shops at Ponte Vedra.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Always having a good time on the Superstation. Thanks for hanging out with us. And you guys want to throw some rock and roll suggestions RJ's way, do it for sure. You can hit the text line 641-1010 and throw some good rock and roll into the show. We love it, that's for sure. All right, now we are talking about these Jaguars coming back. First sight with them on the grass. It's just rookies plus Jarvis Landry. They had a couple of invites that they brought in outside because they need numbers outside of their draft class and their undrafted free agents. And so definitely there's some excitement around the city about having this, the first look for your 2024 Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, MyBookie Digital Studios, YouTube. All you got to do is go to youtube.com, punch in 1010XL. The show will come up. And the first one that was jumping in was bunch formation. They're having fun with that. Now, they really think, the comments off of the chat line, really think Ryan Nielsen is going to be similar to what Jim Schwartz was for Doug in Philadelphia. I like that comparison, Coach and Matt, because that's a guy that has a killer job in Detroit as well. Anyway, that type of addition to your coaching staff could be real important.
I think that's a good analysis because, like I said, Atlanta got a lot of pass rush out of not as good talent. Mm-hmm. And some of it was bringing guys, knowing how to attack protections, all those kind of things. Plus, he's a front guy, and the addition of Chris Richards to me is big in the back end.
Right.
Because I think that combination is what's important.
I love when Coach says he's a front guy.
Yeah, yeah. And so the combination of those two guys bode well because the communication is going to be there between the run and the pass and the blitz package and all that.
All right, Matty, off the chat. The Jags will have a top 5 defense. Josh Allen will win Defensive Player of the Year. You heard it here first.
Wow.
I love the enthusiasm.
I love it too. I mean, look, here's another thing too. If the defense just gets to the point where they're in the top half of the league, let's say they're like, 14, 13, 14, watch how much better the entire team gets.
Well,
like
let's go
because we talk about this all the time, Dave, and you being the NFL coach, you can underscore this. It's very difficult to play offense in the NFL when you're chasing points. It's very difficult to play offense and be successful playing offense when you are constantly put in a stressful situation of if you don't make this play, then the reality is you could be trailing by more points.
Right. Well, first of all, the way you give your offense a chance is win first down and win third down, whatever that is. And the less yards you have to go on the more yards you have to go on third down, the better chance you have of doing that. The key for a defense, it doesn't have to be ranked real high in yardage, but it has to be ranked real high on third down efficiency, and they can't be 5 yards a carry in the run game. Those are the two things that make a difference because in the fourth quarter, if you're ahead, you're going to have yards put on you. So it's really not about yards. It's about the efficiency factor of the defense. And to me, the better you do in those down and distance situations, 15th is good enough. It really is good enough yardage-wise, as long as you're efficient in the other areas.
Yeah, and just for what they were a year ago, they were 22nd in yardage. Giving up 342, almost 343 yards.
And a lot of that was pass yardage, I can tell you that right now.
And we can go back to those numbers when it comes to the time of possession along with the yards. Those are both bad.
Give the offense more snaps. That's the key for the defense, in my opinion. Meaning that you're giving them more opportunities to put the ball in the end zone. That means you're getting off on third down.
Right, and quite frankly, they need a larger margin for error too.
Right.
We cannot forget that we're dealing with the human condition here. If you're in the offense and you're sitting there on the sideline, you're watching the other team go up and down on your defense, you're going out on the field every time thinking, all right, if I blow this move or if I blow this play, we are in trouble. And that's, that compounds the pressure and the stress. So I look at it as the better your defense plays, the more room for error your offense has. The better your offense plays, the more room for error your defense. It's the same. They play off each other. What do you guys call it? Complementary football is what you coaches call it.
Absolutely.
But that's the reality of the situation. If one doesn't work, the other one stresses, and it affects the other, correct?
Right. Correct. And really, to be honest with you, time of possession is big because you only have so many opportunities offensively. And the defenses in this league are so fast and big and fast
right.
that the less opportunities the offense has to score, the worse off you're going to be because it's hard to score. You're not just going to go down there and score every time you have the ball in your hands. So we need to play better on both sides of the football. But if we can stop the run on defense, that's going to be a big part of it, in my opinion, because we're going to be a little bit closer to routes.
Yeah. And they were around the top 20 in points per game given up.
Yeah.
They gave up less than 22 points per game. But the killer was from December 1 on, and I might have the number here. It increased by a field goal. This is what you and I talked on the Campo and Joe podcast. Right. You guys can go find that and listen to it because it increased from 21.8 to about 24.8.
Yeah,
it
that's
went
a
up
different
a full
story.
field goal, and the points that they scored went down basically a field goal. So you're talking about a touchdown swing almost.
All right, and speaking of defense, and I hate to be the guy that brings this up, but I have to say this because this is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
So Detroit also is having their rookie minicamp.
Yeah.
And Terry Honor, the number 1 pick, cornerback from Alabama.
A target of your Jacksonville Jaguars, but they traded out of that spot.
Well, they still could have taken it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But they traded out of that spot.
His quote today, if my mom was a receiver, I'd jam her into the dirt, and she knows that. That's the corner I want right there.
Look, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. And so was Keon Coleman when we went up to Buffalo and said, I buy these in the spring. That's what my mama taught me. And so before there's a big run and they get expensive. Look, I love the dogs, but Josh Allen is on the 3rd and long with Eric Armstead, and I can play a soundbite from him, which is just killer because he's saying.
It's not going to be as good as that.
Yeah, well,
it's
that's pretty good.
good
No, that's good. That's great. But everyone's saying stuff in the offseason, a la Will Levis, the soundbite we played yesterday or the day before, because, these guys all are believers right now. But Allen did make a good point that the combo of him being on the outside, Eric Armstead on the inside, Coach, that leadership quality that Eric's bringing already just in the building, going to be a huge boost.
Well, if we get more pressure inside with our inside group, we'll be in good shape.
Help those corners
we'll be in
too.
good shape.
Yeah.
It'll help everybody.
Everybody. Because and this has been my mantra forever, if you collapse that pocket, if you get at the quarterback's feet, if you move him off the spot, make him uncomfortable, he's got to go back, left, or right. He ain't coming forward.
Come up. That's
and
the
so
key.
then all of a sudden, hello 44, hello 41, they've got a chance to get to him, and these defenders obviously are in a position to make a
Guys,
play.
if you're out there and you watch a lot of football, I'm talking about the fans out there, take a real good look and see how many plays are made by the quarterback when he has to scramble outside deep.
Right.
In comparison, when he can step up and then go sideways.
Yeah.
Because the defenses are so fast that when you have to belly out to get outside, they close on you so fast and you're moving so fast that you can't make throws as easily as when you step up, go sideways, your eyes are downfield, and you make a throw.
You know what, to underscore both of your points is the way you really want to look at how devoid they were with Town in the middle of the pass rush, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They had 2 ends that combined for 27.5 sacks. Yeah. And they were generally considered one of the worst teams in the league in pass rush.
Yeah.
If they
imagine if they got an interior rush.
Yeah.
Imagine how much more impact the 2 outside guys would have. I don't know if they'd have more than 27.5, but everything would change. Everything would change.
The guy that would have helped us last year created Duval.
Mm-hmm.
Key.
Yeah.
With Key gone,
well, listen,
that was a factor.
He may have built the Buckman. But I'm giving Calais and all those guys before him.
That's a different story.
Jacksonville, yeah.
Ngakoue, those guys are the guys you want. But I'm saying just the loss of him made a difference, in my opinion, on third down because they had nobody besides the two outside guys to put any pressure on.
You don't get 27.5 sacks from your two ends
and
not be like a dominant defense.
Yeah. Right. And here's the thing. You may not get 27 combined from them again, but if you get 27 combined from the other guys, then you're starting to talk because that's more than double what they did as a entire group outside of Walker and Allen.
Right.
All right. We'll keep it rolling. Jaguars top of mind. Yeah.
Or septuple for that matter.
Yeah. That's a big word. I don't know if it counts on XL Primetime. That's a big word. But any of those, we're just talking productivity. Get his butt on the ground. Make him fear you. And this football team didn't necessarily do that as a whole across the line of scrimmage. All right, it's XL Primetime. Jump in, 641-1010. Go to YouTube. It's the MyBookie Digital Studios. You can throw comments up there. We do have a couple of them that we will get to where they basically said, stop blaming the defense. Offense has some blame here too. So we'll get into that part of it. But I got to play Doug Peterson's comment about the physicality comment. So let's do that coming up on XL Primetime.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Feel the thrill of victory. Here they come, checkered flag! This Sunday at Darlington. Brought to you by the Plumbers and Pipefitters Local Union 234 on Jacksonville's NASCAR station 1010XL.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Ever wonder how you can transform your living spaces into captivating works of art? At First Coast Lighting and Fans, they offer a huge selection of high-quality products to match your desire for elegance, quality, and uniqueness. Visit their showroom on Phillips Highway at the Avenues and step into a world of quality without compromise. Discover the difference that locally owned expertise makes and let them help you experience the transformation from average to extraordinary. At First Coast Lighting and Fans.
Chose C for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, Director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick. We're a 5-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year, and right now graduate making over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or no student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost are the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 23rd.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. We've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler for 47 years. And this Mother's Day, we'd like to help you celebrate Mom with up to 40% off our entire inventory. GIA certified diamonds, beautiful colored gemstones, designer brands, custom jewelry design. And Monahan Jewelers offers interest-free financing on any purchase. So get something special with a payment you can afford. Come celebrate Mom with fine jewelry at up to 40% off at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 10, 2015, at the PGA Players Championship, Ricky Fowler wins, beating Kevin Kisner and Sergio Garcia by 1 stroke.
Surf in the Summer Surf Camp is now registering for camps this summer. Get your kids out to the beach this summer. For registration and session dates, log on to surfinthesummer.com. Surf in the Summer, Jacksonville Beach's premier surf camp.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and I know you've heard this before. Why is it so hot in this house? Well, summer's already here on the First Coast, and those soaring temperatures can do a number on your AC. And when they break down, we need them repaired in hours, not days. This is where the good folks at Fenwick Home Services have you covered. Fenwick offers same-day, 24/7 service, and if you need a new AC because yours is on its last leg or already broken, Fenwick has next-day installation. That's right, next-day installation, and can keep you and your family cool and comfortable all year long. Now, here's the best part. Call Fenwick day or night, 24/7, and their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online at FenwickHomeservices.com. That's FenwickHomeservices.com, and stay cool and comfortable all year long.
Mother's Day is right around the corner this year. Give your mother a gift that keeps on giving. How about a zero-resified kitchen? Hey, Hicken here. There's nothing my wife loves more than having Zero Res do a deep clean on the kitchen. Towel and grout. She also loves the look and feel of the granite countertops after Zero Res cleans and seals them. They really pop. Right now, Zero Res offering $50 off towel and grout cleaning and $50 off granite countertops cleaned and sealed. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it back. It's the right way to clean.
Big Chief Tire guarantees quality service at every visit. Frank Frangie here. Right now, take $50 off a new set of tires to stay worry-free on the road. Plus, with Big Chief's Tire Protection Plan, you can enjoy free tire repairs and replacements for up to 3 years. Don't let worn-out tires slow you down. Stop by Big Chief and experience the difference today. Visit BigChiefTire.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment at one of their 5 locations. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
All right, earlier today, Bears coach Matt Eberflus wasted little time in naming Caleb Williams his starting quarterback. Quote, no conversation. He's the starter. So apparently there's no, Minshew there to
I was going to say
press
Gardner v. Trev.
To press him
you
a
couldn't
little
just
bit,
hand it to him. Come on. You could not.
They're probably not doing like they probably don't have assistant coaches yelling out the little whatever drill they were doing where it was one-on-one drill where they were screaming the winner and the loser. Probably not doing that at Bears camp either.
No, listen, let's not, with apologies to Coach Campo, because I know he knows Matt Eberflus. Let's just not gloss on Matt Eberflus here. But the main reason why they said he's the dude is because they dished Justin Fields up to the Steel City. They sent him packing.
Well, and because they just spent $44 million on him, too.
Of course. I'm joking here when I say Gardner was the presumptive starter. Okay, they didn't ship him out of town in 2021 when they made the number 1 overall pick. Don't you forget that. All right? And
it was part of that lost season there for Trevor.
It was.
Anyway, Dave, what's the mindset behind, as an former NFL coach, what's the mindset behind your, 2 months from camp, you just picked him. It's not even a question, Eberflus says. He's the starter.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm a competition guy.
Yeah, I'm
myself.
not crazy about it.
Yeah, I'm a competition guy. But at the same time, when you pay a guy that much, the owner probably came in and said, hey, just like they did with Richardson, basically.
Right.
He's a starter. Let's go to work. And, that's what you do as a head coach. I don't care if you're Bill Belichick or who you are. If the owner walks in and says, Tom Brady's starting, Tom Brady's starting.
Right.
You could argue about it, but when you go in front of the public, Tom Brady's starting. That's the same thing with Caleb Williams.
Yeah.
You were in that situation.
You kind of experienced that.
Listen, I was told many times what was going on.
I know that there was one other guy with apologies to Quincy Carter, there was one other guy that they could have gotten that you would have been very happy with.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Now let's play the soundbite from Doug Peterson. And this has to do with what Trent Baalke, the general manager, I'll remind anybody when you hear the soundbite from Doug Peterson, when he kind of laughs at the idea of physicality, that the whole conversation, the whole topic came from inside that building, came from his general manager. But here is the soundbite, Balky, on that notion of physicality.
The physicality part of it, I kind of chuckle when people say be more physical. I mean, we play football. It's a physical sport, right? I mean, it's how we teach our players to maybe you can help them be more physical, just like you can help a quarterback be more accurate, right, with his throws. So it's a matter of just doing it.
Now, I agree on the face, Coach. You were there at the presser. It is a physical game. As the great Vince Lombardi said, it's not a contact sport. It's a collision sport. I get that.
Yeah.
But if you're going to try and convince me that you were physical and you may not like the word physicality, this team lost physical battles from December on down the stretch, and they were evident along the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think that was kind of a backhanded comment myself, you know, to Trent, you know, just coming out and saying that, you know,
I love it
originally. But at the same time, I think he answered the question, though. He said, we're bigger and faster. That's how you get more physical. But I don't know that that's the whole story. I mean, there are some guys that are tougher and more physical than others playing in the National Football League.
You better believe that.
Yeah.
You better. And if it was a backhanded slap at Balky, I love him even more now. Okay?
Right. That I love.
But I will say, to your point, they absolutely had to get stronger. They had to get more physical. And Balky wasn't wrong in saying that.
No,
so
correct.
Yeah, and there absolutely are bigger, stronger, and faster guys than what they have.
And fellas, they have only replaced 2 guys as far as starters, 1 on each line of scrimmage. So how much bigger, faster, stronger, and I'm not even going to use the word faster, how much bigger, stronger are they? Okay,
well, he's also protecting his players, too.
Yeah,
you know
and
that.
he's also got another year in the weight room and this, that, and the other thing with a bunch of guys. So, I mean, I think that's where he's coming from, you know. And
Cam's been in the weight room forever.
I'm sure he was tired of hearing
So was
that.
Luke. Yeah.
I'm sure he was tired of hearing that. If I was a head coach listening to Primetime, I probably would have chuckled as well at that.
First off, they all listen to Primetime. That's number
they love
one.
Primetime.
Secondly, of course they get agitated when they hear. Of course he gets agitated when he hears that
it's
because
the
that's
game of football,
right. Well, because you're challenging someone's manhood when you say that too.
Right.
Yeah,
and you're challenging the head coach.
Yes,
of bringing that out in his players.
Matt,
so
look at my notes, okay? And I'm going to read this, but you are seeing that I've got these notes,
All right.
right?
All right.
And this is paraphrasing what I jotted down when Trent had the presser. So this is going back to when Trent had the presser. And you were making notes, Leon, when we were all, it was all going down. All right. And this is paraphrasing Trent Baalke. Finished 9-8. Not good enough. We have what we need in this building. Cam couldn't run the ball. Couldn't stop the run. Got to develop an identity. Got to stick with it. Got to get bigger, faster, stronger. Everybody in the building knows you're going to run it. Still got to be able to run it. This is a systematic issue on running the ball. How do we make this a more competitive situation? Make these rooms as competitive as they can be. You guys remember that, right? Remember him saying that?
Wait, real quick. He said this is a systematic issue running the ball.
So these are Trents, okay? This is Trent. This is not even Trent talking. This is Trent Baalke talking.
Right.
And so, if that's what Doug was doing, then I love it. But they definitely have got to make sure they win the line of scrimmage.
Absolutely, and I think Trent was absolutely right.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
he's responsible
if I was
for
the
the
head
talent.
coach, I would have taken a little umbrage with the fact that he said that to the public and not me saying it.
Right.
But at the same time, it is true what he said. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think they went out to try to get that rectified. Mm-hmm. And I think they did in a lot of ways.
But I also think it's not just the offensive line. I think it's everywhere on the team.
Well, I think he was saying that.
Yeah, it's everybody. It's receivers got to get off the jam. They got to get separation. It's, linebackers got to get more physical. Guys can't be breaking tackles on you.
Mm-hmm.
Safety's got to come up with force. Yeah,
absolutely.
Of course.
And even you look at what they did in the draft. Those 2 interior linemen, I believe this, and I know you guys say that they weren't worth a darn against the run at LSU.
Well, they weren't.
But when I watch those guys play, when I watch those two guys play, Jefferson and Mason Smith, they are big. And they are physical.
Dudes. Yeah.
And they can run.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping, excuse me.
Hope is not a plan, Dave.
I'm believing that they're going to be stronger, and it's not just the starters now. It's the rotation.
Yeah.
I
love how you caught yourself there, too, when you said hope. I love that. You're learning.
All right, you guys keep it coming. As far as the Jags rookie minicamp, what they do expect to have different this year versus last year. We did have a couple of comments on the MyBookie Digital Studios on YouTube, where you can go search 1010XL and find us there, about, don't take the offense off the hook. And so this does come to that point, is that you've got to make sure that both sides of the ball have done enough things necessary to improve this football team. Firmly believe the speed of Brian Thomas can help. He's got to make sure he can catch the football. Got to make sure he can get off the line of scrimmage.
They got to protect.
You can have speed all day. If you can't do those two things in the NFL, he did it well in college. Got to be able to prove he can do it in the NFL.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, so let's head into the 3 o'clock hour. We'll stay on the subject. We got to work a couple of other things in. Dabo Swinney did not take a player out of the portal. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Did not take a player.
My portal's out locker rooms, what he says all the time.
Out of the portal. And this is the age of the portal. And that's definitely worth getting into. There's a couple of other things. Trey Benson loving on his head coach, Mike Norvell, saying he's the reason I got drafted. That's got to excite FSU fans, and that's got to excite players who may potentially want to play for him, and that's what's happening up in Tallytown. So we'll get into a couple of those college football notes in the 3 o'clock hour right here on XL Primetime. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Coach Campo, and RJ.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
I guess they just don't make them like they used to, huh? No! Nobody ever made them like this.
This is 1010XL.
This is it. This is definitely it.
Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Mayday, mayday, mayday.
Come in, Linda. Over.
We've got a sea of new vehicles and they're priced so low they're rocking the boat. Come check out our biggest selection of inventory with the best prices and our wow-ya experience that will ensure smooth sailing for your next car purchase. Plus, take advantage of our peace of mind warranties, transparent pricing, and free oil changes with every purchase. You better beat the surge and head to Beaver Toyota St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for the best car buying experience.
Tacos and sports go hand in hand, literally. You can watch sports with a taco in each hand or with a taco in one hand and a surfboard in the other. Don here from Taco Lou. I love sports, and since you're listening to this station, you love sports as well. If you love sports and tacos, then Taco Lou is calling your name. We always have the game on here, or you can call in a to-go order to watch at home, or let us cater your next watch party. Catering for the holidays? No problem. Taco Lou in Jax Beach. Cheers to tacos, sports, holidays with the family, and tequila.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist is now offering ortho walk-in appointments. If you have an immediate need for orthopedic care, contact Southeast Orthopedic Specialist immediately. Avoid ERs and urgent care waiting rooms. For more information, go to se-ortho.com.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
In sports, we love to see just who the top dog is. Even better news now, Underdog Fantasy is back. Perhaps it's you. They're back with Champions. Champions is a player versus player fantasy game where you have the opportunity to win up to 100 times in one night by beating out the pack. And you do it real simple. Real simple. Higher or lower. It's all you got to do. There's a statistical projection. You either go higher or you go lower. You add up your picks and you count your cash. It can be as simple as coin flip, higher or lower, or you can use all the resources they have on a terrific app. I got on the app this week, played around with it, learned it inside and out. Yeah, so my contests haven't gone so great yet, but hey, that's why there's more season. So, discover what Underdog Champions is all about and go right now to your app store and download the Underdog Fantasy app today. Use promo code PROSSER and you'll get your player special plus a deposit offer. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code PROSSER.
This is your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Andrew Gibson for 1010XL. This update brought to you by Surf Into Summer. Jaguars head coach Doug Peterson spoke this morning about what we can expect to see from the new defensive scheme under new defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen.
It's a lot of shell defense to start, even though we'll play some single high stuff. It's, the corners are going to be in more press alignment, not necessarily press technique or press coverage, but press alignment. Still play man, mix those. So it's all different. And so every position is going to, have to learn.
Doug Peterson this morning, courtesy of Jaguars.com. It's 83 degrees at 3 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday on XL Primetime.
RJ, the DJ, cranking it out with some Big Hair Heavy Metal, any rock and roll, as long as we like
this
it.
is not heavy metal.
Yeah. Again, we do not have to have the tutorial on heavy metal because that is just a name. It's an invitation.
I'm going to. Come on.
Huh?
I'm going to give you that tutorial every time.
We are so far past that. Any good rock and roll that we like, Big Hair, heavy metal, is just the backdrop. Okay, so you can do it. 641-1010. Grunge, alternative.
You go back to the 60s?
No, we do not.
That answer.
Well, if it's the Stones, we can go back to the 60s.
It's not real rock and roll.
Yeah, like if it's Creedence or whatever, every once in a while,
we can go back to the 60s.
We can go back
the 50s
to
now. We start talking about, your stuff. I don't know about that.
It's a little far.
We might draw the line there.
It's a little far back.
We'll do a little Doors too, but I don't know about it.
We can go back to some of those, but
late 60s.
I'm into the rock. It doesn't matter if it's Big Hair or heavy metal. We just like it. 641-1010. We gave out a bunch of Welcome to Rockville tickets over the last handful of weeks, and that festival is going on right now down at Daytona. So definitely having a big time with all those winners down there. That's for sure. All right, now speaking of winners, we're hoping this football team gets back to a winning formula. And so let's stay on the Jags. Then we got to get into the college football talk that we were starting to tee up a minute ago with Dabo Swinney not taking anybody out of the transfer portal, which is interesting. That's for sure. But before we get back to the Jags, Trey Benson, former Florida State Seminole, a guy that did come through the transfer portal. And Mike Norvell has done great things up there in Tallahassee by getting guys to come to his school, turning them into stars, draftable stars. Listen to this little snippet from Trey Benson after he got the phone call that he was drafted. This is what he told his coach.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You earned it all. Thank you for taking a chance on me when I was in the portal, when I didn't have no film, and, just because without you, I wouldn't be here. So thank you for that.
And so that is the type of selling point that FSU is going to use. And, Coach, when we talk about this past year, Florida had one player drafted. Not since 1980 have the Gators gone through an NFL draft where only one player was drafted. Thankfully, for Ricky Pearsall, he went in the first round. But you have to go from Scott Brantley in 1980 to Ricky Pearsall in 2024. It's just incredible. Anyway, when you hear Trey Benson say that, that's good for recruiting right there.
Well, and there's two things that are happening there. One is, it's as a coach, that's the kind of guy you want on your ball club, that it understands that the harder you work, the harder it is to surrender. And you got a guy that really understands that there are people helping him. It's not all about him. It's about all the people that have helped him, developed him, whatever. And that bodes well for recruiting for sure, because you go into a parent's home, that's all they really care about. They care about the fact that you're going to develop my son both on the field and off the field, and that shows that he's doing that. The other thing it shows in my mind is patience is a virtue. There isn't much patience around anymore as far as, because they were ready to run Norvell out of Florida, out of Tallahassee, wherever he was coming from. And then all of a sudden he's in a national championship hunt.
Yeah, I look at Benson and I think, you know what, that's a good dude because he knows what's important. He knows what's important.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's, and the fact that he wants to publicly say it is even better. And real quick, returning to Clemson, because that's how we got here initially. Zero signings from the portal. Dabo always says my portal's my locker room. 12 players left. 3 of those 12 are good players, and they're good players. I mean, Andrew McCool was a really good safety, went to Texas. Toriano Pride's a really good corner, went to Missouri. Mizzou is going to be really good this year. And Bo Collins went to Notre Dame to be a nice little asset there for Riley Leonard. But I was telling Coach this during the break. If you look at Clemson's roster, okay, they've got 8 offensive linemen that have spent 3 years in that program. 8. That's the way to go. That's it. That's how you develop. You develop those key areas like that.
You build them into men, strong men, and even like that, for me, the training table and the weight room, extremely important during college.
And they have 8 defensive linemen also.
Okay.
Spent
So
at
now
least
we're at
3 years in the
16
program.
that have
16 on the lines of scrimmage that have spent at least 3 years in the program.
That's good. That's a real positive.
If you trust your coaching staff and your ability to develop players, and you recruit well, and they do recruit well, they're among the top 15 every year. Recently as 3 or 4 years ago, they were among the top 5. So if you trust in who you're recruiting and your development, and you keep guys like that, you shouldn't need the portal, but for a couple players, here and there.
Well, we say that all the time around here. You guys do about the fact that in the NFL, you really shouldn't build through free agency. You should build through the draft.
Yeah.
Well,
draft and develop.
It's even more so that way in college football because you get more picks. You got so many guys that you can bring in. But when you take guys out of the portal, you can say whatever you want. You better be darn sure they fit. And I think Norvell has done as good a job as you could do there. But you look at Colorado. Deion was a talk of the town, and he brings in all these guys. And then they only win 3, and then he runs off half of the guys that he brought in himself. He said he was bringing in Louis Vuitton.
Yeah, either.
So, it's a gamble.
Yeah, either he ran them off or they ran and left.
He clearly did not bring in Louis.
I don't know which.
He brought in like knockoffs is what he brought in because they weren't Louis. I can tell you that.
Yeah. But a guy that's in your program,
corner sidewalk in New York,
there was some kind of knockoff because that was not Louis. I will say this though. I mean, if you look at Dabo and what he's trying to do, I get what he's trying to do, and I like the fact that he's taking a stand like that. But I think there's maybe 2 or 3 programs that can pull that off. Georgia's clearly one of them.
Yeah.
Ohio State is, and Ohio State now is getting in the portal big time.
Yeah, they went and got the.
Yeah, well, they saw what Michigan did.
Yeah.
I mean, Harbaugh literally won a title because of the portal. Alabama, I think, could under Saban. And even then, late in Saban's career, they started adding from the portal. Jahmyr Gibbs was portal. Jameson Williams was from the portal. You can go down the line there. Even Kirby. Kirby just added Jaden Rashada.
Yeah, which you don't like. He had 5 stars lining up to come to Athens, and then this kid just kind of comes out of nowhere because his coach leaves out in Arizona State. How many games did he start last year, Matt? 4 or something like that?
No, it wasn't that many. It was like 2.
Okay,
2,
so
anyway,
1 or 2. It didn't.
He's a former 5-star recruit, like a huge recruit.
Yeah, he was.
He was competing for the job.
Yeah.
There's some people say he didn't get it, but it doesn't matter.
Right.
It doesn't matter. Like he's He's a guy that has potential. He's a former 5-star recruit. You all know him for the Florida Gator stuff with the NIL in the early days there of the NIL. But that's look. It's only a very few number of teams can do what Dabo wants to do and play at a high level.
Right.
And that's kind of where Clemson is right now. And Clemson is not what Clemson used to be. There's no doubt about that. So if we have another season this year where Clemson is 9-3 or 8-4, then you're going to start to hear some rumbling. You will, even though they've won a couple natties, there will be some grumbling. There's no doubt there
because it will be
the playoff is expanded, and if they're not in the playoff again, then it's going to be an issue.
It'll be 6 years removed from a natty.
From the natty, yeah.
And so, you got half decade after that. You're allowed to chirp. You're allowed to say something.
Well, and he has to understand too that if he doesn't feel he has somebody that can help him get there, if he has somebody, he's got to do it, because remember, it's the ACC against the SEC. So the guys that he lost this year, the 3 that you said were really good players,
2 of them went to the SEC.
They went to the SEC because everybody's saying that's the league to be in. Now, once it goes into this super league, I'm not sure it's going to be the same. I don't know.
Yeah, he just it's odd because I like the way how he takes. I've always liked Howard because he's not going to bend with the wind. You know what I mean? He's just going to be who he is, and I love that. But I think at some point you've got to bend in this situation because this is how you procure players now in this day and age of college football. These guys are moving, whether you like it or not, and he doesn't like it. They're moving. They are allowed to move every year now. They're moving, and they're getting money. So whether he likes it or not, he's got to at some point embrace it and say, okay, I've got to figure out how mentally I can be okay with this and still move forward with it.
Yeah.
All right, so, it's all about getting guys to the league, getting guys to come to your campus, recruiting first, portal second. Portal is where you plush out your roster.
I mean, he's the guy who said, let's not forget, as recent as 2 years ago, once they start paying players is when I'm out.
Yeah.
And maybe he will. Maybe when they start sharing the revenue, maybe he does leave.
But they already are paying players.
I think what he means is like literally when they start straight pay for play. Yeah, professionals.
Yeah, he can move the target if he wants, but he was
can.
strictly
But
talking.
that's what I'm saying. There's no once that target hits where they share the TV revenue, you can't move it anymore.
Then we'll find out. All right, now listen. While we talk about college recruits in the NFL, I want to get back to a couple of comments from Doug Peterson. But let's just stay right here with a little Corona Call It, shall we, RJ? Let's just do it right now.
He's going to drain it. It all comes down to this.
Oh! How did you call that?
Game recognized game.
Playing the soundbite. Corona Call It. You want to enjoy this weekend, you can head right in to your local grocery, your convenience store, whatever. Pick up some cold Coronas. You can go by the dozen if you want. 6-pack, whatever it might be. Slice up some limes. Enjoy a cold Corona Premier. Light calories, low carbs, but delicious taste, that's for sure. Get you a cold Corona. So we're talking about the outstanding talent from the college ranks that have moved into the NFL. I figured I would include Coach Campo in this because you know what? Dr. George Barry may be a shoulder man. Coach Campo is a defensive back man, okay? Yeah. He's all about the secondary. So I have a total of 7 schools that have a total of double-digit players that are on rosters in the NFL right now. So this heading is most defensive backs by schools in the National Football League, okay? Most defensive backs by schools that are on current NFL rosters, and I have a total of 7 that have double digits. Now, a couple of them are pretty obvious. Let's just go ahead and see how many we can
LSU's
get.
obvious.
All right, let's ding them up for LSU. LSU, by the way, well, I won't say it just yet.
I mean, Alabama's obvious.
Okay, now, there you go. Alabama is number 1. LSU is number 2.
I think Georgia's got to be high in there as well.
Okay, no movement there, RJ.
No? How about Ohio State?
Ohio State for sure.
Okay, all right, Ohio State. Ohio State is at the bottom of this list, but yes, it counts.
I'll tell you who else is in there. Florida's in there. Am I right about that? No?
Sadly, no.
All those guys have retired.
USC.
You better believe it. It's been a minute, okay?
Wow, it has. Wow.
USC.
Let's see here, Coach. Nope.
Oklahoma.
Nope.
Texas.
Nope.
Really?
So right now you have Ohio State, who has 10 DBs on current NFL rosters. You got Bama, who has 17. You got LSU, who has a dozen.
And you said no to Notre Dame, right?
You didn't say Notre Dame.
Notre Dame.
Okay, Notre Dame.
I love how he did that. I thought you said no to Notre Dame.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, he qualified it.
All right.
Yeah. No, I
I
said
thought you
no
said
to
no to Notre Dame.
Oklahoma.
All right.
I said no to Georgia.
All right. How many more
I
do you
said no
need?
to SC.
You need 2 more?
We are down to three remaining.
3 to go. How about Washington?
Washington's a good one.
Oregon.
Okay. Washington has 11. Very close,
Oregon.
Coach. Oregon is in the same camp with Georgia. They have 9.
So we need 1 more.
Okay.
Is that what you're saying?
I think we still need 2.
2?
Yeah. You just got 1 of 3.
Let's go Michigan. Michigan.
All right. There we go. Now down to the last one.
And then Penn State. Michigan State.
Penn State has 9. Right there with Georgia and
Michigan
Oregon.
State.
Coach has a tie to this place.
Miami.
Yes. You should get
I was going to say Miami.
I was going to say Florida State, actually. That's my next guess.
Yeah. So Miami, Notre Dame, and Ohio State all have 10. Michigan and Washington have 11. DBU, as LSU likes to refer themselves as, has 12. Alabama has 17. Wow. The group that has 9 is Georgia, Oregon, Penn State, Aubie, War Eagle, and Pitt have 9.
Pitt.
So there you go. I was kind of that one was
Narduzzi churning out those DBs.
Yeah, and look, Narduzzi up there in Pitt.
D lineman really is what they churn out.
Yes.
Pitt, yeah.
And by the way, there's a chance that if they can, get like Daniel Thomas is on this roster, and Hugh Freeze has said that he had to go out and get a bunch of new players. He had to get guys to leave. This is a total aside from the DB talk. Hugh Freeze is going to call his plays. And so I'm wondering how that's going to go. I like that.
Well, we still don't know who's calling this team's plays.
Yeah. I think he's a good play caller. That's for sure. So let's get to the Doug question with calling plays here coming up in just a minute. And then also what he had to say about Jarvis Landry as far as a guy that's coming in, 31 years of age, was away all last year. Does he have a chance to make the squad or at least turn heads for the coaches, get some tape, as they say, and maybe have a chance at a comeback in the National Football League? We will do that coming up. Also, I thought this was kind of fun on social. I posted it, but want to see if we can play it over the radio and see if it sounds sounds good to the audience. It's an Irishman and a bulldog walk onto a golf course. It was just a great little piece. So if we can play that coming up, we will. It is XL Primetime.
Oh, how'd you call that?
Game recognized game.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers. Because at the end of your workday, you just might need a lift.
Let's go home.
Let the Franchi Show drive you home.
Are we ready? Yes. Good.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Would you like to drive for a while?
Frank Franzi here for Stanley Pools. There's a reason so many of my friends and our listeners have had Stanley Pools build their pools and now maintain their pools because Stanley Pools truly cares about their customers. Stanley Pools is locally owned and has been serving our community for 35 years. For all of your pool needs, call Stanley Pools at 269-7277. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools. 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com.
I'm the guy that never gives 5 stars because I never believe that anything is perfect. But I would give them 20 stars if I could.
Ernest's stellar review belongs to QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in regenerative treatments. They came through when he badly needed relief for his aching knees, and doctors had told him that surgery was the only option.
What they're doing is cutting edge, and it really helps. And I'm a tough sell.
QC Kinetics is led by National Medical Director Dr. Mitchell Scheinkup, a pioneer in this field. With 20 years of clinical work, tons of research, teaching, publishing in non-surgical natural pain treatments. These are the medical pros to trust.
I'm living my life basically pain-free from what I was dealing with, so I'm a happy camper today, no doubt about it.
QC Kinetics. Call today to see if you're a candidate.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Like to learn how to fly an airplane? Well, you're not alone. High Flying Jacko here, inviting you to listen Sunday morning. We'll start your aviation career with a 60-minute ride on the airwaves of 1010XL. The High Flying Show, Sunday at 9 on 1010XL.
David here with Royal Pest Services. Man, don't let your yard be torn up by that heavy aeration machine this spring. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to learn more about our granular aeration. Broadcast throughout the tree and shrubs to break up that compacted soil. Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
At Duck Duck Air Conditioning, we understand the importance of having a properly functioning air conditioning system, especially in hot and humid climates like Florida. That's why we offer a wide range of services, including installation, repair, maintenance, and replacement of all types of air conditioning systems. The Duck Duck Air Conditioning team is available 24/7, so you can count on us to be there when you need us the most. Contact us today to schedule your service and experience the Duck Duck difference. 904-862-6769 or online at duckduckac.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
New and pre-owned firearms are always in stock at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach. Want a new sidearm or rifle? Brands like Kimbar, Smith & Wesson, Sig Sauer, and Beretta. No lines, no hassle. Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
Mia here. The NBA playoffs are heating up, and it's the perfect time to elevate your game with MyBookie. With MyBookie, you can bet from anywhere, anytime, so you never miss a shot to cash in on a play. You can even live stream and bet on the games right from the sportsbook, giving you everything you'll need to decide, cash out or let it ride. MyBookie really makes it easy to get paid with tons of boosted props and slam dunk parlays. And new boosts are now posted on the daily. It's more than just a sportsbook. Buzzer beaters, underdog upsets, and a community to share in all of the sweats. Give yourself a head start today and play with house money using promo code 1010XL when you make your first deposit. That's promo code 1010XL to claim a limited time bonus when you sign up and make your first deposit. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Electricians, innovators, and tech enthusiasts, listen up. Miller Electric is shaping the future, and we want you to be a part of it. From healthcare and data centers, corporate offices, aviation, and industrial facilities, Miller Electric is powering the most exciting projects in Jacksonville and beyond. We offer not just a job, but a thrilling career with great pay and incredible benefits. Visit us at millercareers.com to apply. Miller Electric, where your skills meet our vision, and equal opportunity employer.
Golf takes center stage at Hidden Hills Golf Club, but we have a little bit of something for everyone. So whether you want to practice, play, or just relax with friends in the Hills Grill, Hidden Hills is the place for you. Visit us at hiddenhillsgc.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
Good rock and roll suggestions. You can throw them RJ's way. He's taking those suggestions. 641-1010. You can hit the text line. Designed by Lifetime Enclosures. We had a great time at Lifetime Flooring yesterday. They got their open house tomorrow, 10 to 3. Don't forget. Make sure you drop on by. Now this, I forgot to bring up. It just makes me laugh, okay? And let's go back to Wednesday's show. Matt Hayes, tell quickly the story of what happened with your Apple Watch going off.
Right. I was sidetracked there from Dave. Dave was tapping his finger. You like that little rockabilly Van Halen?
That's David Lee Roth, like Dave Campo right there.
You know, all that Van Halen music, it's all rockabilly.
I like
basically.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm a kind of connoisseur of all kinds of different music.
Yes.
So, Dave, I was wrestling with my dog. Yeah, he's a 70-pound lab. He's a big boy. And we were playing around, and he pulled his head around real quick and hit my thumb and wrist. And like it hurt. Like, he hit it hard. He's got a big head.
Yeah.
And I was like, ooh. You know, he ran away because he was scared. He thought he hurt me. And all of a sudden, my clock starts, buzzing. I look down at my watch. And I look down, and it says, looks like you've had a fall. We're calling 911. And it's calling 911.
It was classic.
I told you the same thing happened. Yeah. One of my wife's girlfriend that stays with us sometimes, she all of a sudden a cop shows up at my door. I think I told you guys. I opened the door. The guy's got full riot gear on. Her watch somehow called the police department.
Really?
Oh, yeah. We had to come out and explain there was no problem and everything else.
Listen to this one. This is Duval Doom, very popular on social, a big Jag fan, Duval till we die. And so anyway, he tweets and it says, the police came into my house after I put my watch on the bed and it fell off. Got out of the shower to a cop entering my kitchen through the garage yelling, we received a call. This is a wellness check. Thankfully, my chefs, so his dogs, were outside. Watch called all my emergency contacts. Daughter called the cops in tears. She thought I was having a heart attack. Is that not unbelievable?
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And I just told him, hey, thankfully, the watch didn't fall off with another act going on because that would have really been bad if it came
storming. That would have been a little embarrassing, I think.
All right, we got to unplug the internet right now.
Yeah.
All of this. I mean, life. It's got to be unplugged.
It's so funny.
This is getting
but
crazy now.
He said just out of the blue it happened. And believe me,
all of this AI stuff, it's got to go, man.
There have been plenty of people that have chimed in on that subject. I want to make sure I got that one out because apparently it happens quite often. That's for sure. All right, now let's get to a couple of important things from Doug Peterson. And one of them, I think it's an interesting experiment. I really do, as far as the idea that Jarvis Landry can have a chance to maybe get back in the game. We know that through suspension, Calvin Ridley was out for a year. We also know that he stepped away from the game with mental fatigue and then the injuries to the foot. Anyway, after sitting out for that long amount of time, he came back. Well, Jarvis Landry, because of injury, had to sit out this last year. No one picked him up, and so he's coming back. And he's just trying to make it work. So this is Doug Peterson. A couple of comments from your head coach on how this tryout came about with a former LSU Tiger. I'm telling you, this is LSU Vol is what it is right now.
I just think it comes together because you just want to be able to put eyes on as many players as you can. And he's obviously played several years in this league, and been talented guy, and just see where he's at. He was out of ball, I believe, in 23, and 22 was kind of his last time. He's been hurt a little bit, so just kind of seeing where he is health-wise and just see where he's at, and it's nothing more than just coming in and, a tryout type basis.
And you said that most of the guys that are going through drills and whatnot, you get to see a whole lot of him, but at least it's an opportunity.
All I can tell you is he and Brian Thomas were never more than 2 feet from each other during the entire practice.
Yeah.
He is a mentor.
Okay, I was going to say, that as an aside is a great thing to hear.
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing there is going to be, the end guy on the receiver roster has got to play some special teams.
Right.
So that's going to be the decision at the end because I believe they're going to keep Jarvis. They're going to sign him, I believe.
Really?
And they're going to keep him, and he may make the team. If he's where he's been in the past, he may make the team.
This guy was uber productive.
Absolutely.
When he was
but
healthy.
He may keep him right up until the final cut to mentor that kid. So it's going to be interesting to see. I swear, everything else was going on, and those two were attached to the hip.
Really?
So I think that can be good, is what I'm saying.
And he has been, for his career, Christian Kirk's faster. Actually, they're probably both about the same. Anyway, same style, same size, same type of guy, same productivity, same thing that you will ask. them to do. And so who exactly knows? If you're just looking at the depth chart, you know you've got Kirk, Brian Thomas, Gabe, then you're going to make a decision. Devin Duvernay should be one of your guys that you're counting on out there in the pattern.
He has to be one of those guys, right?
Yeah. But he's your main special teams guy,
too.
too.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. But at the very least, he'll be counted on. He made plays in the passing game up there in Baltimore. And then, of course, you've got the other guys, the Elijah Cooks of the world that are trying.
I mean, that also could come down to, like, do you want to keep an extra offensive lineman, right? I mean, because if he's your special teams guy and he's one of your receivers, you can.
I would put it this way: it would not surprise me if he makes a team. It would not surprise me.
Not at the expense of like Parker Washington, though, right?
Well, I wouldn't think so, but I'm just saying that the way it was said today and what he did on the field is just one little thing. But when you look at the mentorship of a number 1 draft pick, that might in itself make the difference when it's all said and done.
By the way, that's my thing. By the way, I think Parker Washington makes a big jump this year.
You think he makes?
I think he makes a big jump.
Okay, good. I like hearing that. I think Jaguar fans look. He showed a little something.
Yes. Oh yeah, he did.
He's not the fastest cat or the biggest one, but he is an instinctive, intuitive dude.
He's a player.
He can run too, man. He's not,
he can run. I only mean that he's just not blazing fast.
Right.
Because you're usually looking for that in the special teams game. But he's been well coached, smart cat. All right, one more on Jarvis Landry and how the whole thing came about. The question now is how do you look at him? Because, like you said, he's going to be able to help Brian Thomas, but how does a coach evaluate him, especially when you're up against the backdrop of all the rookies?
Not necessarily. We understand with Jarvis, he's played a ton of football, right? And so we know that. And, there maybe there's a different expectation, with a guy like Jarvis. But I think more than anything, just kind of seeing where he is physically, mentally. The rookies they don't know anything right now, so it's different. And we're trying to get them. We won't get them caught up this weekend to where the vets are, but at the same time, this is a great opportunity for them to learn and really, show us how much they can retain in just a short period of time.
Doug Peterson, as he addressed the media with this rookie minicamp going on, I'll get a comment from him on Mason Smith and an update on Ventrell Miller, because that guy had the Jones fracture coming into the league last year, then ended up getting hurt and wasn't available for the year. But let's get to the play calling, okay? Asked about the play calling, and I tell you, and you were there, Coach. I feel like he, like you said, there may have been a little bit of a shot, might have been a little bit of a shot towards Balky with the other one. This one was, I ain't telling you nothing until I got to tell you something. So here it is, Dougie on play calling.
Brent, Martin asked you a couple times about the play calling process and your evaluation of it and going forward. Where are you in that at this point? Is that something you're not going to deal with for a while?
I don't play a game till September, so. Got some time.
Now, that was D-Rock, Mike DiRocco of ESPN asking the question. What was your reaction when you heard that?
Well, I think that he's tired of hearing that as well. I think that's the bottom line. I think he's tired of hearing it, and I think I think
he's wobbling from that initial.
What do you think?
From that initial, that press is still going to call some plays. I think he's wobbling big time from that.
Okay, I love all these interpretations. Mine's just slightly different, but we're all kind of on the same brainwave, is that he's going – it's going to be me, but I'm not going to tell you until I have to tell you. And I'm not going to tell press until I have to tell press. At least that's the way it's – hey, we ain't playing a game till September. I'm not answering that question.
Well, you know how I feel. When my job's on the line, I'm going to take over.
Yeah. Yes, that's your natural
I knew he wasn't going to change. I knew he wasn't going to get rid of press.
You're not removing the title.
It wouldn't surprise me if he called the plays himself.
And you're not removing the title, right?
Yeah.
You're not stripping him. You're not bucking him down.
Correct.
No demotions, but we're all in collaboration. We're all in concert. You still got your business card. I'm calling the play. And that'll happen. That'll happen in September. This won't happen in September. This is happening
now.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Well, this dude made the rounds, and if nothing else, when you released Zay Jones, you imagined there were going to be plenty of teams in pursuit. Wide receiver, free agent Zay Jones is signing with the Arizona Cardinals. That according to the rap sheet and Tom Pelissero, another veteran option for Arizona. He writes, Jones had visited the Titans, the Chiefs, the Cowboys, and now he's going to be a Cardinal. And they know, giving everything they possibly can, a young Marvin Harrison to Kyler Murray and an experienced Zay Jones. Now, it's not like Zay's going to be able to mentor Marv too much, but kind of to your Jarvis Landry and Brian Thomas kind of mindset.
Well, there's no question. I mean, he's been in the league, 8 years, 7 or 8 years?
Somewhere around there, yeah.
You know, he's a veteran receiver, and I think that it's good to have a veteran receiver in the room. I think the guy, if he's healthy, he's going to be fine. The problem is, can he stay healthy? That's the key.
Yeah, I've been saying all along, if he's healthy, he's a good player.
He is a really
good player. And I'm happy for him.
Yeah, me too. If he's healthy, I keep saying he's a good player.
Yes, yeah. And he's got size. He can run really good routes.
He's got size. He can go up and get a ball. Yeah.
Yes. And coming out of a Raider uniform into a Jag uniform, really one of the best things that happened to him, because he was actually, it bared out that he was a good player.
He got on the field and they used him. Yeah.
Remember when he was first signed, people were like, meh. That was kind of the feeling. And he definitely was. He had a really terrific 2022.
I get the feeling that when you really look at it, a guy that has an injury, the team that has to make the tough decision right away is a team that gets rid of him.
That has him, right, yeah.
You know, everybody else is willing to take a little gamble, but the guys that have them,
right.
That's when they make the move.
That's a great point. Because this
I
was
think but the thing that surprised me, though, is, and although it sounds like it means nothing, but Gabe Davis is not practicing.
Yeah, I was going to say, with the Zay thing, it's an $11 million decision to say goodbye to Arizona. It's a cheaper decision to say hello.
Yeah.
And then it was a little I guess you might use the word surprising, that they can't talk about Gabe Davis because they haven't seen him 100% because he's recovering from, are you ready for this? A PCL.
Yeah.
Just like Zay.
Yeah.
And so he's at least on the mend as far as what.
It sounds to me like there's no concern with him.
Yeah.
So.
Yes.
We'll see what happens.
So they'll take their time with that one. All right, real quick, let's just get these last two in on Mason Smith, because here's a guy that if there was a question mark next to a drafted name, I put Mason Smith, question mark, second round, just because he didn't have a particularly good year. The LSU defense didn't have a particularly good year. I think we would all agree, at least that kind of raised your eyebrow just a little bit. Potential to be a really good player. Here's Dougie on the LSU second rounder.
It's going to be a lot of individual, a lot of drill work, fundamentals, teaching, just the retention, just see what he can retain, just see his athleticism, see him move around. Again, there's no pass rush, no offense, defensive stuff, and it's just a matter of, I think taking what he's being taught in the classroom, obviously take it to the field, and then, no more than just watching him run around.
I can't say anything other than I want to see, I hope, and I could say all the wishful things.
Since I met Matt Hayes, I have changed my wording from hope to believe. So I have belief in it that the guy is on the rise. And after talking, you've heard me before say the other day that after talking to Ed Ogeron and Pete Jenkins, they feel he's on the rise. So I think our guys feel that way as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see. He's a big, good-looking, fast athlete. Time will tell.
Yeah. And then Ventrell Miller, how can you know that this guy can come back 100% and be healthy? Gator fans that are rooting for Gators and Jaguar uniforms now, here's an update.
Actually, him, Christian Braswell, Cooper Hodges, because they're on IR, they get a pension credit, so they can't, be a part of the rookie minicamp, which is kind of interesting. But Ventrell's doing extremely well. Obviously, he's healthy, and he's moving around really well. He's he's competing and doing some really good things out there.
Okay, yeah, that's
I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that he couldn't because he was on IR.
I love how he said, which is interesting.
Yeah,
like I'd like to change that a little bit.
It's stupid.
Yeah,
the guy's healthy.
Yeah,
it doesn't make sense. But
and I know that there are
certain
limits, number of plays as far as a rookie minicamp and all that. But heck, you could have anybody on your practice squad anymore. It doesn't matter how long they've been in the league. It doesn't. Anyway, you would think there would be.
But how many non-rookies are allowed to compete in rookie camp? Do you know?
I have no idea.
Right, especially if you had the injured year. This much I know. This is straight into Open Gym and RJ's world. If you can be a rookie and then come back the next year and win a Rookie of the Year honor, yeah, they ought to be able to come out and practice the next offseason.
I would think so.
Before they get
especially
to their
when he said he's completely healthy.
Yeah, second year of service. All right, we'll keep it rolling. It's XL Primetime. Joe C., Matt Hayes, Coach Campo hanging out. We've got a Big Hair Heavy Metal Friday. You keep bringing rock and roll suggestions to RJ. Just hit the text line 641-1010. We'll take you right up to the Frangie Show.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Jacksonville's home for Florida Gators baseball.
The Gators get a weekend series with a top 5 team. Florida, Kentucky. Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday at noon on 1010 a.m.
Tacos and sports go hand in hand, literally. You can watch sports with a taco in each hand or with a taco in one hand and a surfboard in the other. Don here from Taco Lou. I love sports, and since you're listening to this station, you love sports as well. If you love sports and tacos, then Taco Lou is calling your name. We always have the game on here, or you can call in a to-go order to watch at home, or let us cater your next watch party. Catering for the holidays? No problem. Taco Lou in Jax Beach. Cheers to tacos, sports, holidays with the family, and tequila.
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. Look, I depend on South State for so many things: personal accounts, small business banking, and banking for our nonprofit. South State Bank can help you reach all your financial goals too, whether you're just starting out or focused on financial planning. South State offers convenience with their online and mobile banking. You should check out South State Bank, as they were recently recognized by Forbes as one of America's best banks. That's South State, banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
The Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is now offering online scheduling for new patient appointments for all of their physicians. Simply schedule your appointment on your cell phone, tablet, or desktop. JOI is the first orthopedic practice in North Florida to offer this feature to patients. To schedule your appointment online, visit joi.net and click on the button at the top of the page. If you'll be using insurance, be sure and have your information handy. JOI, where the pros go.
Mother's Day is right around the corner this year. Give your mother a gift that keeps on giving. How about a zero-resified kitchen? Hey, Hicken here. There's nothing my wife loves more than having Zero Res do a deep clean on the kitchen. Towel and grout. She also loves the look and feel of the granite countertops after Zero Res cleans and seals them. They really pop. Right now, Zero Res offering $50 off towel and grout cleaning and $50 off granite countertops cleaned and sealed. Zero Res, man, you spell it forward. Zero Res, you spell it backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
This Day in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On May 10, 2015, at the PGA Players Championship, Ricky Fowler wins, beating Kevin Kisner and Sergio Garcia by 1 stroke.
Hey folks, Rick Ballou here for John's Auto. They've been a staple in Jacksonville going all the way back to 1985. At John's Auto, they service all makes, all models, cars, trucks, diesel, you name it, they do it. Whether it's routine maintenance or a complete engine overhaul. Call John's Auto on Arlington Road. That's 904-743-3857 or go to johnsautomotivejacks.com.
Hey poker players, the Poker Atlas Tour is coming to Best Bet St. Augustine June 6th to 16th. The Poker Atlas Tour features 7 events, including the $600 no-limit Hold'em title event with a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool and Event 1 $300 no-limit Hold'em with a $100,000 guarantee. Satellites start May 26th. For more details, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Have you or someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI and all criminal offenses. I've been named the best DUI attorney in the state, and David has been named the best criminal defense lawyer in Jacksonville. In your battle with the justice system, there is only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 45.
Joe C. for CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. They can transform your backyard with fire pits, pergolas, screen enclosures, and outdoor kitchens. And CSS handles the entire project from start to finish. You dream it, they build it. CSSOutdoor.com.
Your cooling system isn't working. Maybe somebody showed up with a portable electronic device. Then they discussed with you what your options are. Maybe they gave you an estimate that seems like an awful lot of money. What's the smart thing to do? When the situation merits a second opinion, get a Mike Merritt opinion. Yes, the Mike Merritt Comfort Team shows up with hand tools. We've never been able to fix an air conditioning problem with a tablet. Mike Merritt has been the trusted name for more than 30 years because there's never any hocus pocus. The Merritt team will walk you through the diagnostic steps up close and personal and show you exactly what you need. And the Mike Merritt price is likely to be far less because there's never an overtime charge, and the Merritt team doesn't work on commission. So remember, when it comes to the health of your cooling system, a second opinion can only help, and a Mike Merritt opinion can save you money. Florida license CACO 50384.
Save thousands on Mother's Day gift ideas now at Beard's Diamonds.
Like a beautifully handcrafted 3-carat diamond tennis bracelet, originally $4,050, now sale priced at just $26,3250.
You'll save over $1,400 in the St. John's Town Center or beardsdiamonds.com.
RJ Saunders here, sports lovers. I recently took a tip from Frank Frangie when I needed to send flowers to my mother. Frank told me that Kuhn Flowers is the only florist he ever uses. So that's what I do now. I use Kuhn Flowers. Find them online at kuhnflowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's a big hair, heavy metal Friday on XL Primetime.
We end with our anthem a little bit later on as our show gets ready to hand it off to the Frangie Show. But good rock and roll on a Friday. We totally appreciate it, that's for sure. RJ kicking it right now. The Gators in baseball. We got some tickets to give away. So before we wrap our show up, if you are a Gator baseball fan, you can make it over to Gainesville. They have a Sunday, noon, first pitch against the Wildcats of Kentucky. Let me tell you something. There's no bargain against Kentucky when you're playing them. I don't care what field or court you're on.
Or sport, for that matter.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What field or court you're on. It does not matter.
Not only that, Florida, I don't think Florida's going to make the tournament.
No, it's looking like the year of CAGs maybe ending sooner than later.
How do you have a guy like that and not make the tournament?
And the guy's been extraordinary. So if you want to head over to Gainesville to watch the Gators take on Kentucky, 12 o'clock first pitch Sunday, we've got a pair of tickets to give to you. 641-1010. You be the first caller into RJ, and he will take care of it. I just want to follow up what I showed you guys, and I tweeted it at 1010XL Joe C. You can see it. It's a fun little exchange between Kirby Smart, coach of Georgia, and Patty Harrington. They're playing a PGA Tour Champions event, and he's paired up with Patty, and the competition is on whenever you're a coach, right, Coach? Are you always competing? And if you're a PGA Tour star like Patty, you're always competing. Anyway, they go for they hit their first shot, and they're selecting their second shot, and Patty's like, hey, Coach, go for the screen in two. And he goes, are we popping here? And he gets them all fired up. And so they start cutting up back and forth. Like, what did you come here to lay up? Yeah. That whole idea. I didn't come here to lay up. And then he hits this beautiful shot right into the front of green, takes a bad kick. But anyway, Kirby, he turns to Patty, and he makes a gesture like, you got to have big stones to do this. And he competes. He never stops competing. And then he started ripping on Brendan Todd, Kevin Kisner, the Georgia Bulldogs that are now on the PGA Tour. They wouldn't have gone for it. It was a good exchange. That's the personality I think that these players gravitate to.
Yeah, that was a nice 5-wood by Kirby, too.
It was a hell of a
Just missed it.
Yeah, just barely missed it. But pretty solid. And so that kind of takes us back to what we were talking about before, Coach Matt, when we were talking about how Mike Norvell gets the best out of his kids, how these guys have to figure out the best way to bring them either through recruiting, through the portal, whatever, and they respond. And Kirby's a master at it right now.
It's look, especially in this day and age with kids, and we talked about this, last week about it's just a different young young man right now. It just is. I'm not calling them kids. I just naturally say kids. They're young guys, young men. They're different young men now, and he relates to them as good or better than anyone in college sports, not just college football. And that's why in such a competitive environment as recruiting is in college football, and again, I keep saying this, when you're at the elite level of college football, those 25, 30 teams, everybody has the same amount of money. And then it comes down to, can you recruit the guy? It goes down to the old adage, can you recruit them? Who does he believe in? Who does he believe is going to get him to the NFL, not only faster than the other guy, but at a better rate and ready to play? And he's doing it at an elite level, like way above everyone else right now.
The thing that really impresses me with him is I think he's really good with the parents, and I think that's huge. I mean, he's got that Southern kind of fun charm and everything. He takes them over their house. I just saw a picture of his house. He brings them over to his home.
Yeah.
He's got a football area where he takes the recruits in the house. I mean, it's just kind of a family atmosphere, and I think they get that feeling, and I think that's a big deal.
It is, and I don't know how you foster the recruiting and then not be able to put the product on the field and get players to respond, because I think it's got to be both. It's the atmosphere, it's the way coaches communicate with you, it's the way he charges you up in the case of Kirby, and then they have the product on the field, which is good.
He's also got some Jimmy Johnson in him too.
Yeah, he does.
Like Leon was talking about the Jimmy move with Leon's dad.
Yeah.
And Kirby's a lot like that as well.
Yeah.
You better believe it. First off, his personality is foot on the gas.
Right.
He
shows it on the field. All you have to do is watch him during the game. I mean, he's like
he's going crazy. He's
I say that in the most loving way of all. He's a lunatic.
Yeah, they used to call Jimmy Jump Up.
Yeah.
That's the way Jimmy was when he first started.
Right.
So there's not a neutral button in these guys.
Yeah.
They may be static for a little while, but there's not a neutral button. And so the other part of it is, does he wear players down because he's in their ear all the time? I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I think it's more I don't think the worry is that, honestly. I think the worry more is, does he wear himself down? How much more can he do this at this level, this intensity, this level? That's a question that a lot of people in the coaching community are asking. How much longer does Kirby have it where because he goes, man. When he goes, he goes.
Right.
And how much more can he do that? How much longer can he do it? That's the big question.
Can it be like Doug Vermeil, Dick Vermeil?
Yeah, somewhere in that sense. Like he's consumed by it.
That can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Dick Vermeil is a good example. Yeah. And the fact that he was able to step away from the game, come back,
and still be successful.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and he had to basically engineer a different way of doing things to where he had to idle down here, know when to get amped up.
Well, they also stumbled into Kurt Warner. That helped.
Yeah, and then it was crying.
But he got him himself, though.
He did.
He did. He did. Nobody wanted him. He wanted him.
No doubt about it. Yeah.
But he had Trent Green in front of him because that was the more accomplished guy.
Right.
But
correct.
yeah, you get the eye on this guy. You're like, I got to keep this guy on my roster.
Kind of like something about this guy. Yeah. That was his deal.
Yeah, he went from screaming to crying, and the softer side of him came out.
Yeah.
And definitely a very, very good coach. Heck, even at the celebration up in Canton, he was very emotional there too.
Absolutely.
As well as you can imagine. All right, so the other thing, real quick, that caught me when I was telling you guys earlier that Hugh Freeze is going to call plays for Auburn. He told the guys at this Regions tournament, at this Regions Tradition tournament, that there is a text thread with all 16 coaches on it from the SEC. Isn't that classic?
It is.
And he laughed a little bit. He goes, it's kind of like the SEC is aware of it. They see all these texts that are coming through. He goes, but the ones that probably talk a little too much, and the other ones that don't say a whole hell of a lot, that kind of stuff. Who do you think's who do you think's talking a lot? Lane.
No, I actually don't think Lane's talking at all. Actually,
yeah.
No, I think he's one of the ones that don't talk.
Yeah,
I would imagine that Kirby dominates that conversation.
Maybe he mentioned Eli, and he said that he was a trip, that they were good friends.
Yeah, Eli's. I think would be very talkative.
and having fun with him. But yeah, the way those guys, they're rivals on football fields, but they're also good friends.
Absolutely. That's coaching. I mean, I could walk into a coach that I coached against and hate it.
Right.
I'd love to walk into to Buddy Ryan because we have so much in common. You know, it's automatic.
Right.
You're part of a group like
Yeah,
that.
like you and Brian Kelly as an example. Just great.
Well, there's some that I don't necessarally feel that good about.
Like I'm sure Billy Napier's very vocal on that text.
Oh yeah, exactly.
You know.
I don't know how often he's chiming in, and if he is, it takes a while for that. You know how you you see the
you see the 4 dots forever.
Yeah, the 4 dots. It may take a while for Billy's message to come through. Oh my God!
He's coming in rat-a-tat-tat.
Yeah.
Neighbors is dot.
He did get another recruit though. Another kid committing. They're starting to build their 2025 class, and Florida fans, you know, they're hoping. Fingers crossed.
Patience is a virtue, Joe.
Mm-hmm.
Patience.
I've never seen more patience in Gator Nation in my life. And yet, here it is. Here it is. All right, we are done. Speaking of patience, Hayes Carl, we'll tell him about that subject when he comes in. He, along with Frank Frangie and JJ, they will get you cranked up for the rest of the afternoon. We end with our anthem. Go into the weekend, get ready to have fun, and don't forget moms, okay? This may not be the perfect song for mom, but happy Mother's Day, Mom, okay? We love you. We love you. I miss my mom every day, so happy Mother's Day. Kiss them, hug them, and make sure you take care of them on Sunday. We are done with Big John Henderson finishing us off. Joe C., Matty Hayes, Leon, enjoy the day off. Coach Campo, thanks for hanging out with us. RJ, take it away.
Come on, Joe. That ain't good enough. You got to snap the blood out my mouth. Let's go, baby. Whoa!